Hey everybody, welcome back to another edition of Cooking Rules with Jules. That's me. My name is Julia Pontanis and I'm here to help make your kitchen not only healthy, but also easy. Not your kitchen experience. Anyways, it's getting hot in Florida. I don't know about you guys, but the heat is starting to get to me. So today we're gonna keep it really short and simple with your recipe of the week. We're gonna do a paleo version of a chicken Florentine. So chicken Florentine traditionally has mushrooms, spinach, half and half or heavy cream, and shredded cheese. But in this instance, we're going to be using full fat coconut milk. And I always find the ones that have no preservatives in them because the less ingredients, the better. You don't wanna have any of that junk in your system. So this just has guar gum, which is a natural stabilizer. And we're not going to do any cheese either. So I have with me a big thing of mushrooms that I'm going to use up. This is about 5 ounces of spinach that I'm also going to use up. And then of course I'm just cooking for myself. So I have 1 4-ounce chicken breast that's been defrosted. So this is again another quick and easy weeknight meal. No chopping involved today because my mushrooms are already pre-sliced. So if you wanted to buy whole mushrooms, of course, then you could slice them up and you would need that ingredient. So step 1, we do have some garlic today. I'm gonna take the edges off. I'm gonna give it a little bit of a smash. And then I'm just gonna give it a rough chop. Uh-oh. This garlic looks like it's had a better days. Well, that's okay, we won't use all of it. Just give it a nice little rough chop. And we'll get started by actually heating the pan because chicken goes first. So I'm gonna get my pan on a medium heat. I'm going to get rid of this gross garlic. I'm going to continue to give this a little bit more of a chop. I'm going to start by seasoning my chicken, and as always, I have forgot to pull out my tongs. Do that beforehand. A little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, not too much. We're just going to brown the chicken in the pan first and then pull it aside. Hold that thought. Luckily, the utensils are close. Okay. Flip that over. Boop. This is a really great little meal too to involve small people with. So if you have kids, nieces, nephews, babysitting, whatever you're doing, this would be a good hands-on project for the kids because it's easy and it doesn't require a lot of dangerous chopping or a lot of heat. So actually while I'm waiting for my pan, these mushrooms are pretty big. So I'm just gonna give them another little rough chop. Nothing crazy. And these mushrooms I just bought and they seem to have been living their better life again sooner. So just beware. I bought these at a main grocer. I normally get all my produce from a local market and I never have this issue with things going bad that fast. See what's happening in my pan here. Go through and get rid of these gross mushrooms. Ugh. Gross. Slimy mushrooms are the worst. I hate food waste too. So if there's something that you bought that's kind of like on its last leg, then I would recommend doing it in a saute like what we have right now. That's going to cook them down enough where you might not notice that they're kind of like on their last leg, and also they'll still add a lot of flavor. So I'm gonna add my olive oil. It would help if I put the pan on the burner all the way. Stepping on mushroom. Give it a little bit of a swirl. Gonna get my chicken in here. Pan's probably about ready to go, so I'm going to get this little guy in here. And perfect, we got a nice little sizzle. Put that over there, and all I'm gonna do is brown this chicken for about 3 to 4 minutes on each side, just depending on the thickness. So this one's a pretty decent sized cut. Yeah, probably 3 or 4 minutes, so we'll let that go. So while that's happening, I'm gonna continue to pick through my mushrooms and chop them up. Okay, so I'm about done on this side. I'm gonna give my chicken a nice flip. So you can see I have a nice little brown color there, and let it go another 3 to 4 minutes. So I'll be right back. Okay, power of video editing. My chicken is nicely browned on both sides here, so you can see nice brown color, nice brown color. I'm just gonna pull it out and put it on my cutting board here. And I'm going to go ahead and return my pan back to the heat. I turned it way down. Actually, it's a little too hot to start to smoke. And the first thing I'm gonna do is add just a teeny tiny bit more olive oil. And now, I'm gonna add my mushrooms first because the spinach will cook way before the mushrooms. So we're gonna let these guys kind of saute up, let go of their water, and then reduce it down, because the last thing we want is watery sauce. We want this to be kind of nice and thick. So I'm going to get these guys in the pan, wipe my hands off, going to give them a little decent coat of salt. And I'm also going to add my garlic here in a hot second. So I'm going to also give them a quick little saute. I missed a few. And then let this go from here. So let's add in the garlic. And then give these guys about 5 minutes, and then we'll be back with the spinach. These mushrooms have been going about 4 or 5 minutes now, and as you can tell, they've started to reduce down into the bottom of my pan here. They're getting this really nice brown color. So I'm going to go ahead and start to add in my spinach and wilt it. Actually, you guys, not going to lie, I am really disappointed by this produce. I just bought it and it's already going bad. It was really unfortunate, but anyways, okay. We work with what we have, right? Food waste is terrible. I use the rest of that in my omelet in the morning. Alright, so now I have my spinach ready to go on top of my mushrooms. I'm going to season it up with a little bit more salt. This grinds out really fine too. It might look like I'm heavily salting it, but really it's not. It's just coming out powdery fine. So again, I'm just going to let this kind of saute itself down. In the meantime, I've gone ahead and opened up my coconut milk, so whenever this starts to reduce down, I'm going to go ahead and pour it in. And then simmer it down, and then add my protein back in there, add my chicken. Now you can most certainly eat this as is. You can serve it with some roasted potatoes. You can serve it over like a protein pasta if you wanted. You could do it over zucchini pastas or veggie noodles, whatever you want to do. But for me tonight, I think I'm just going to eat it as is. Once again, I managed to skip lunch today. I don't know how that happens, but it did. So spinach is ready to go, and be about another, I don't know, minute or so that this coconut's ready to go. So as you can tell, everything is nice and wilted down in there. I don't have a lot of excess liquid, which is perfect because I want the sauce to stay creamy. So I'm just going to add a little bit at a time. So that's about 1/4 of the can. I'm gonna switch my utensil to my spatula. And I'm actually going to crank up my heat on this just a little bit. And it smells really good. And it looks like I can add a little bit more. So I'm gonna make sure that I'm gonna scrape down the cream part of this too, because that's the part that the thicker part. That way our sauce doesn't get watery. So I'm going to add just a smidgen more. And then give that a stir. So now I'm back up to a nice simmer, and I'm going to re-put my chicken in here and let it continue to bake. Not bake, cook for about another 5 to 7 minutes. And once that's done, I'll be back. I'll show you what it looks like plated, and we'll get to eating. All right, so it's literally been about, I don't know, 4 minutes, and I'm plated up and ready to go. So we have, voila, right there. I don't know, I don't want to tip it too much, but this is a really quick and easy, delicious dish that I hope you try out. So if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you didn't, tell me why so I can make it better. I'm still learning, you know, and it's just fun to make, and I hope you're enjoying too. So if you want to see what I do every week, click the subscribe button, make sure that your notifications are on, and I'd love to hear your feedback and comments. So if you have any requests, you have any questions, I'm here to help you out. Anyways, have a fantastic week, stay cool, and until next time, bye.